All right. Welcome. Welcome. You're late again. You're late to service again. She's always late.
Fashionably late.
Fashionably, I will hate. Welcome to True Hebrews United of the Lord Yeshua. Beloved, holiness instructor, discipleship drill sergeant, about to get into the book as usual. Definitely give all honor to Yah through his son, Yeshua Mashiach, the only begotten of the Father. Definitely give double honor to the apostles. What else?
The prophets.
What else?
So, she like myself.
She said souls. Evangelists. What else?
Preachers.
Pastors.
Apostles.
Pastors.
It's supposed to be saints.
Teachers.
Apostles.
Elders. Bishops and deacons.
You want me to preach for you?
Evangelists. Definitely give honors to the brothers and sisters, keeping his commandments, his statutes, his what?
His judgments and his ways.
Prophets, no precepts. Keeping his prophets. Yeah, keeping the law of the prophets in his ways. How many times I gotta say this before you guys be watching Lion King and could quote everything from Lion King?
Do you remember Tony Smith?
And when it comes here. Yeah, I do. I do.
Okay, do it right now.
No, this isn't Tony Smith's show.
The Tony Smith show.
Alright, so definitely give honors to them. All the brothers and sisters keeping his commandments, his statutes, his judgments, his precepts in his way. Definitely thank all the people, Facebook, that like, subscribe to the channel, follow the channel, share the videos. Appreciate you guys. All the people on the YouTube that subscribe, share, and like, and comments. I try to get back to you in the comments and whatnot. If not me, sisters, or the camera goes so cool. You know you can just press zoom, but that's cool.
No, I meant this one.
Oh, okay. Alright, there we go. Actually looks pretty good. You just gotta twist it a little bit until we can see you.
You can see me. Yeah.
No. Yeah, something like that. Not too much.
That
You know, if you put it in front of us, that help.
You know, I can see me.
Okay. That's too close.
That's too close.
You know how many people's laughing at us right now? To scorn.
I can see me, and it stops at the table because before it was going low.
Okay.
I have on my glasses. I can
Your
see.
table's all jacked up.
That's your children over here building clubhouses.
You don't know how to put a couple pieces of Legos under that table to balance it out?
I do. Would you like me to get some Legos?
Yeah, there you go. Put some Legos under there.
Put it on the
A couple blocks. You're like, man, this is the longest introduction to serving the Most High. I'm like, I'm gonna just log on when you in the middle of service. Maybe we'll hit in some scriptures then.
Hard. That was funny.
You're not gonna be able to see. It's fine. Why did? Back that one up. No, back that up and put that in front. Oh, she said it's all good? All right.
Doubting the one who doubts.
Perfect. Kind of like the lip. You know, it's supposed to know what that means. Scott, a little Simon. Scoop, scoop, scoop. All right, let's get it. Okay, you guys ready?
Yes.
You got to turn to the camera. Yeah, because we had it instead of having the camera in front of us, we decided to have it at an angle.
You know what?
How long have you been doing this?
You do it.
We're not accepting no more applications.
You should taste it. Get it together.
Get it together. You heard what people see. They think we're like sinners. Now, the saints would have had this together. How does that help us?
How does that? What's wrong
You're
now?
cut off.
How?
You gotta back that camera up. You gotta back that camera up. There you go. Push this one in front of us like it's supposed to be. There we go. And then back that up.
Do that.
Back that up. I just said back that up. Why are you backsliding?
There.
It's not this.
Here.
It's good.
I'm gonna
It's
do
good.
this. The holiness camera guy, discipleship, straight film. I need both of you guys to sit down. Sit down. I need you to sit down. I got this. I'm gonna take care of you guys off time. I need you to sit down so I can film. Thank you. All right. Show me. You see where you guys tell me. You guys like that?
No.
No or no?
You gotta wait. They're behind.
There we go. All right. Cool. Bam.
Simon the perfectionist. Exactly. Exactly. It was fine just the way it was.
There you go. All right. Cool. Now we're
Turn
good.
that back
We're ready.
facing.
We're ready for war. Let's get it.
I'm sorry, you guys. We're gonna send him back to California. I've been trying since he got here to send him back.
All right. Let's get this party started now.
But again, you can see underneath the table, and that's what I was trying to.
That's what people say.
That's what they want. That's what
people like that because when you cover it with the drape, it looks dishonest, like you're hiding something. All right, let's get it. All right, so cool. With all that said, we're gonna hit a couple of scriptures, then we're gonna deal with some stuff. We're gonna be talking about some stuff, and let's get it together. Luke chapter 2. Luke chapter 2, verse 29.
Is that Old Testament or New Testament?
Is that it?
I need to turn the camera because I need some baby powder right now. You know, so it's going to be a brief interruption. They're going to call me preacher backhand in a little bit.
Dad, you're not moving like this.
Go back to sleep.
Ready?
This dude.
Let's get it. Luke chapter 2. 24. I was keeping you on your toes. Verse 29. No. Wait up. No, I had it right. Wait up. Wait up.
Get yourself together. Teacher backhand.
Teacher backhand. Preacher
what?
backhand to you.
Preacher backhand.
That's preacher
Chapter
backhand to you.
You don't know.
I'm seeking right now.
And you shall find.
This dude is lost in his book.
All right, give me Matthew 24.
Matthew's
We're
here.
going to get Matthew 24 this time. I think that's 21. Give me Matthew 24. Wait up. The temperature is hot.
Didn't you just say it wasn't hot here?
Matthew 24. Service is over.
We'll reconvene for another
All right,
Sabbath.
it's an intermission. All right, you guys ready? I'm going to read the whole chapter. And just to give you a heads up, read the whole chapter. All right, Matthew 24. Let's get it. Verse 1. Not the whole chapter, almost the whole chapter. And Yeshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to shew him the building of these temples. And he said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there should not be left one stone upon the other that should not be thrown down. So he's referring to the destruction of the temple, and we already realized that already happened, but we'll get into that right now. And he sat down on the mount, all his disciples came unto him privately, saying unto him, Tell us, when shall these things be, the destruction of Jerusalem, and what shall be the sign of the coming and the end of the world? What mainly Christians mess up, I'm not teaching on Bible prophecy by the way today, mainly what Christians mess up is they combine all these questions. He asked 3 different questions. The destruction of Jerusalem had nothing to do with the end of the world. And so Christians take all this in one, and so they mess up their Bible prophecy. That's why they're going to get swept up like a flood. Yeshua answered and said unto him, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, shall say, I am a Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars, that you be not troubled. All these things must come to pass, the end is not yet come. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places, like it is. And also in the Bible it talks about how when the end of the world, when the Almighty comes, it'd be like a woman in travail. Because not only the intensity of her contractions, but how frequent the contractions come. So we see more and more earthquakes, and they're happening more and more heat waves, and they're breaking. Oh, this is the new record. This is a new record. This is a new record for this country. They never had a tornado in their life in that country. Things will start happening more often and with more intensity. So let's keep going. All these are the beginning of sorrows, and they shall deliver you to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and shall be hated for all nations for my name's sake, which did happen to them, as well as will be happening to us as well. Then shall many be offended and betray one another. These false Hebrews, shalom, fringe wearing, non-tithe paying, secretly eating pork, and all these people that come and be around you and say, oh, we got to work as a team, or just because we're Hebrews, we got to work as a team. No, I only work with the seed of Abraham, and the seed of Abraham are those that keep the Almighty's commandments, statutes, precepts, judgments, and ways. Let's keep going. And because iniquity abound, the love of many shall wax cold towards the Most High and towards one another. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. You got to make it to the end. You can't just start this race. You got to finish the race. You got to go all the way. Let's keep going. And the gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, which has happened. Then shall the end come. You know, and I'm excluding those remote drungles that have no contact with people. But for the most part, a lot of people heard of the Bible. Maybe it hasn't been preached to them in truth and sincerity, maybe through falsehood and false Catholicism or whatnot, but the gospel has been gone out there. Where therefore when therefore you see the abomination destination spoken by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth let him understand. And he only gives that scripture to those that's keeping his commandments and to the ministers out there. Then let him which be in Jerusalem flee into the mountains. Now this is a searching situation. He's talking about the destruction of Jerusalem right now. He should be hated from all his sake. And the apostles were hated and killed. We see a lot of the apostles died early off in the book of Acts. And it says you should deliver. It says to flee Jerusalem. Flee from Jerusalem. When you see destruction coming, you flee. So let's keep going. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Like what these Christians, this is all Bible prophecy. This is talking about destruction of Jerusalem. Because if it's the end of the world, the rapture, what does it matter if I'm on the roof of my house? That has nothing to do with anything. He's referring to the destruction of Jerusalem. Let's keep going. Neither let him which is in the field return back until to get his clothes. If it's the end of the world and I'm going to get raptured, I don't want to get raptured in my pajamas. I need to get raptured in some regular clothes, because I don't want to go into heaven in some pajamas and my flip-flops and whatnot. Come on now. He's talking about destruction of Jerusalem. So let's keep going. Woe unto them that are with child, and to them that get sucked in these days. Pray ye that your flight be not in the winter. If it's the rapture, does it matter what season? Neither on the Sabbath day. So once again, this same scripture condemns these Christians, because these Christians don't keep the Sabbath, and you're talking about this is the end of the world, but you're not keeping the Sabbath. So why would it matter for a Christian if it happens on the Sabbath or not? Because they're not keeping it. But because the Sabbath still stands as of today, then we want to make sure that when persecution comes, that hopefully it doesn't hit on the Sabbath, because we're going to get caught off guard like you read in Maccabees. So let's keep going. For then shall there be great tribulation as what not since the beginning of the world in this time, no, not ever shall be. And except the days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. For the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. He shortened these days that's going to happen when it comes, when the Antichrist come on this planet, and persecution and the mark of the beast and surviving. Except your days be shortened, no man will be saved. It don't matter how. All brothers and sisters in the Holy Scripture need to be preppers. But it doesn't matter how much food and water resources you save up. They will diminish. So the Almighty had to shorten these days. You could do your best, but you will eventually need to get water or get food, or you will need to get some antibiotics. There was something happen where a tool breaks or some solar power breaks down or something happens, and for you to be saved, and or people are on the hunt to people that don't want to get the mark or don't want to get the vaccination or don't want to do this. They're saying, hey, if you tell us anyone who's this, we'll become fugitives. Whether no matter where you're at, you'll become fugitives because you choose to serve the Most High. And it says the Almighty had to shorten these days. Just like the Almighty had it to where, just like the days of Noah, so shall the coming of the Son of Man. Only 8 souls out of a whole planet, and I don't believe it was 6 point something billion people. Let's just say if it was 3 million people. Let's just say if it was 1 million people on this planet in the days of Noah. Only 8 out of 1 million. So yes, we know there's going to be thousands of us saved in the day of persecution, but there's also billions of people on this planet. So when you look at the parallel 8 out of 1 million, and I'm just using that as an example because the whole world wasn't populated like it is now, we see maybe 1 million may be saved out of 6 billion. You know, it'll be the same ratio. I'm not saying exact, but I'm saying look at the ratio. That's how few people, only says only a remnant will be saved out of Israel at least. So let's keep going. Verse 23, then if any man shall say, lo unto here is Hamashiach, and there believe him not. So I'm going to stop there. And the reason why I'm dealing with there is because I don't believe we're dealing with this whole coronavirus and lockdown and whatnot. I don't believe this is some of the end of the world being fulfilled. Some people want to see this is the plagues and whatnot. I tell people this is plague-like, meaning it hits the whole world. When the Almighty sends his plagues and pour his vials and blow these trumpets, it will hit the whole world. This is plague-like, like biblical-like. I don't necessarily think this is biblical because I believe it's man-made and whatnot. And the Almighty's plagues, there will be no cure. When he sends this stuff, people will curse the Most High, and they won't repent from their idolatry or their fornications like we see in Revelation. But I think this is a forewarner. The Bible says, watch and pray that these days don't catch you unaware. So seeing this test run, this ain't even to non-believers. Seeing these test runs, how did you get caught off guard? We see right now, borders are being shut. The last plane, we are outside of Babylon, but the last plane to leave outside of Babylon, if you wanted to go leave to out of Belize, where we're at, leave stops what, Monday? Monday, which I'm not concerned in going back anyways. But my problem lies is, let's say for an example, this took December to March. In 4 months, this happened. So he says, watch and pray that these days don't catch you unaware. When the Almighty sends his plagues, or when martial law, or when stuff pops off and they close down borders, you have 4 months, you're like, man, it happened so quick. But he said, watch and pray. And what have you been doing to prep? All believers, if you say you believe in the Most High and you keeping his commandments, then what you should be doing with some of your money is prepping. So some of you guys know that the United States is Babylon, and you know any sign of trouble, you should flee out. You can't even come here. Through Mexico has blocked the borders, you can't drive here, and flights are canceling. Pretty soon you won't be able to fly here. They're going to shut the whole airport. Now, I'm not saying Belize is the only place you need to go, but even if you're trying to go to Mexico, or even if you're trying to go to Canada, which you shouldn't because it's pretty much gone. If you're trying to go anywhere, you can. So you know for years this is Babylon, for some of you guys that do know, are the people that know that there's FEMA concentration camps, you know this government tries to get you with vaccination, you know what's up, and you choose not to leave. You choose to play around with tax returns, or play around with this, or buy a big screen TV, or get rims, or get this, or do all these things. But what's important? So now this test run comes, which I believe this is a test run to show brothers and sisters where you're at, and where are you at? Where are you at? You cannot leave even if you want to, because they're closing borders down. Now you're stuck. Now if this was, which could be, but I'm saying if this was a biblical plague or Bible prophecy coming to pass, you'll be stuck. You'll be like, man, there's 5 wise, there's 10 virgins, 5 wise and 5 foolish. All of them knew they were waiting for the bridegroom. 5 of them had oil in their lamps and 5 didn't. So then they wanted to get it together at the last minute, and you get it together at the last minute and you get shut out. Just like some of you guys are shut out. And then on one aspect you say, well, it says come out of Babylon spiritually. Or like Pastor Dow and other ministers out there, and I don't try to build True Hebrews United by crushing other people, unless they're preaching some super stupid doctrine like you don't have to be baptized or something. You know what? Large Camp Worldwide teaches that foolishness, and all of them going to hell. So anyways, it ends with the C. That's all I'm going to say. So anyways, you say, and they didn't want to do an investigation of one of their own sisters that got killed by some truck driver. I ain't going to say anymore. But anyway, so, because that's wrong. So, we see that if this was a test run, you wouldn't make it. You say, oh, let's come out of here spiritually. But you come out of here spiritually, right? You go to the city and the market. All right, they're shutting stuff down. And then you want to go to the market, and then now you can't buy your flour. Now you can't buy your toilet paper. Are you even prepared for this? Can you even go 6 months dealing with this? If stuff gets shut down and you try to go to the Walmart, try to go to the Target, try to go to the grocery store, stuff's not there, and the stuff you need for your family, do you have that stuff available? If they do you like they did, what was it, Hurricane Katrina, where it says, hey, we were handing out $2,000, but you think you needed to get a vaccination, or some people had to get a certain card, or they said the only way we will help you out is if you get this vaccination, and you need to get this chip so we could monitor who is where, and if you got your vaccination, because we made it a law in the United States, you have to get this vaccination. That could easily happen where they pass this law next week where you need to get this chip and you need to get this vaccination or we can't help you. Then what? Because you play and you play and you play. Some of you guys need to get a second job. Some of you guys need to get a better paying job. Some of you guys need to take your paycheck and buy food and water and get the things you need, because it says watch and pray that these days catch you on earth. And it's been 4 months since December to now. Have I got caught off guard? Yes, I got caught off guard to the point of, did I have enough face masks? Did I have enough latex glove? Did I have enough hand sanitizer? We have all those things. We just didn't have the intensity to what we thought we need. So, did I get caught off guard in that aspect? Yes. Did I get caught off guard where I would like to have more money banked up? Yes. Do we have money banked up? Yes. Dealing with a situation like this, of course you'll want to have more. Of course you'll want to be more fortified. It says money is defense. Seek the Almighty. My faith is the Most High anyways, so I'm not, it says faith with works. I save money and I prep, but I believe the Most High is a protector and a provider and a helper. I put my faith with works. Faith without works is dead being alone. I can't say I'm going to just believe God and I'm not going to get no food or water, no sanitary. You know what, I'm not even going to not go out and keep social distance. I'm just going in the midst of the corona. I'm going straight to Wuhan right now. I'm straight to Italy. I'm going to go into the heart of Italy right now, and the Almighty's just going to protect me. It says don't tempt the Almighty. We know better. He showed us this stuff can kill people. And don't say, oh, I serve the Almighty, I can't be sick. Because Elijah, a powerful prophet, he even got sick and died by sickness. Even Hezekiah was going to get sick. Sickness came into the world when sin came into this world. So there's saints that get sick and die, and there's saints that die of old age. It hits us all. There's brothers and sisters that may get hit by a car, and some may die of old age. So we can't just say, oh, I'm going to just let the Almighty, I need to have faith. It says faith without works is dead being alone. So you want to say something?
You're right on point.
All right, so my thing is, go ahead.
Right on point.
So my thing is with the people that's even in the land right now, because I'm not just going to condemn you or crush you guys for not doing your part. And if some of you guys out there that have tax returns, that have kids, you guys need to start focusing on where you need to go. One, if you don't know what Babylon is, that you should make that a top priority. If you know what the 10 Commandments is to obey, you're on the right track. And two, right after that, figure out what Babylon is. Because some of your money needs to get distributed to getting out of Babylon, especially if you're in the United States. I know there's some brothers and sisters that don't believe that there's Babylon. To you brothers and sisters that say, oh, come out of here spiritually. Now let's see this test run. How prepared are you? How can you fully sustain yourself? We here only show a little bit because we know that we have beliefs and watchers. So we choose to only divulge so much information on Facebook and YouTube, you know. But we're at the point where things aren't catching us off guard like people that's still stuck in Babylon. And that's the mindset you need to have. We have to have the mindset to make whatever sacrifice I make. Some of the people watching Brother Vince out there, he knows what sacrifice I make to get ahead in persecution and Bible prophecy. I make this sacrifice, whether you guys know on Facebook, YouTube, I don't see the fams or the kids all the time because I'm out there working, and I'd rather make this sacrifice, the same sacrifice as someone that works in the Army or the Navy or whatnot. They get deployed for 8 months, sometimes they get deployed for 18 months, especially if you're in the Navy, they extend those deployments past 6 months. So you don't see your family a lot or whatnot, or you work on an oil rig, or you work on World's Deadliest Catch and you're out for 4 months and you come back and see your family and then you're out again. That's the sacrifice I choose to make. Oh, I don't want to make that sacrifice, but now, if you make that, you know you're less likely to succeed when it counts. I believe in spending family time. But I believe my priority of keeping my children and my family alive supersedes me going to their football games. I believe keeping them alive is the most important thing. So if I got to make sacrifice to put True Hebrews United as well as my family and whatnot in survival, then that's what I need to do. If your husband's on board, if your wife's on board, if they're not on board, you got to do what you need to do to also secure your own salvation, but secure your children's salvation. Or if you guys don't have kids, just to secure your own salvation. hey, well, if you don't want to do this, this is where I'm going to set some of my money aside. I'm going to buy some food. I'm going to buy some water. I'm going to buy this, and we're just not touching this. Hey, this is my money. I'm setting this aside, and oh well, you know, because it says some of your foes will be those in your own household. But we got to make preparation. I believe this is a test run to see how strong are you for biblical plagues, where there will be no cure, where we see on TV with the COVID, we're doing testing and this and that, and China's kind of got it contained, and we see some signs of hope. I'm talking about when the Almighty pours His vows, and He blows His trumpets, and He sends His plagues, there is going to be no cure. It's going to be destroying a third of the planet. It's going to be destroying a third of the all the trees and greens on the earth. There will be a food shortage, period. There will be a water shortage, period. It will go down. And then you have the Antichrist popping around trying to persecute and put people with the mark of the beast in this beast system. So you have all this stuff going down. And there is no sign of hope like the coronavirus, like, oh, this will settle down and China got it contained and they have testing some new medicines and this and this and this and this. You're like, all right, cool. It'll be just like the normal flu. You go to the doctor, oh, you have coronavirus, take these pills for 7 days and you'll be good. Just like the normal flu. Oh, you got the flu or you got pneumonia. Here, we're going to give you this stuff. You hear some antibiotics, you got this. Bam, you get this, bam, it'll boil down. But if this, let's just say if this coronavirus was killing more people and it was a biblical, where there will be no cure and there'll be chaos and police will stop coming to work because they don't want to get sick because policemen are getting sick and stuff is going out and they can send soldiers, but some of those soldiers are dying, so they're not going to be coming to work, and people start jumping fences, people start robbing people, people start raping people, and it gets crucial. How prepared are you? This test run, how prepared were you? And this ain't even over, but I'm saying, how prepared were you? I don't even care if they shut the borders. It doesn't matter. I'm out of Babylon. It's all good. And that's the mindset we need to have. That's the mindset we need to have. You want to say anything?
Just in regards to people being prepared, I know the subject matter is getting out of Babylon, but before you I guess can get out of Babylon, it starts with saving food, it starts with saving water, it starts with, you know, setting money aside for, you know, hard times. Like one of the things that, you know, we always have to consider with Teacher Simon being in the States is we have to have a pot of money so that if something happens, that at the drop of a dime, you know, he can buy a plane ticket and be out of the United States. So in regards to this situation, it caught us off guard to the extent that, you know, we had every year when it's time for a presidential candidate to leave the office, they kind of throw out some sickness and hope that it catches, and then, you know, the president can stay in office. So, you know, when it started happening, excuse me, and we're watching this over in China, you know, it seemed more like Ebola, right? Where Ebola kind of, you know, was an issue with, you know, just kind of within Africa, the continent, sorry. So, you know, he was actually here already. And, you know, he left and went back. And again, we still didn't even think that it was going to get to this magnitude. And we're watching it, but it just didn't seem like it was really going to take over the way it did. And within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, like, you know, he had to come back because it took over. So just having that mindset of, you know, being focused and being prepared within the space and where you are. So making sure that you have money so that, you know, there's a Teacher Simon, when he was on his way here, met a guy who he left essentially with like a backpack. He came with a sleeping bag and a tent, and he knew he just had to get out of there. And sometimes if you're not watching and praying enough and you're not set up enough, you may have to just flee with what's on your back, but still having that money or that pocket so that you can be able to get out, or having the essentials. You know, he had his tent and his sleeping bag, but if he's just spending his money on Jordans and new cars and new phones, he might not even have that. So, you know, start small. Don't, like, you have to set up goals. You got to have your short-term goals, your mid-term goals, and your long-term goals. Okay, yeah, your long-term goal is to get out of Babylon, but your short-term goal will be, okay, every paycheck, I'm going to buy 1 can of water, one can of food, 1 case of water, and set $50 to the side. You know, that's less than $100 right there. That's like probably $60. All that right there is $60. So every paycheck, if you set $60 to the side, Eventually, you will get to the point to where you have a little pot, and that's how we started. You know, we started with just a couple cans of food. You know, you can go to food banks. There's all kinds of resources out there. So just don't feel overwhelmed. You know, looking at like, oh, I'm so behind. Yes, you are, but it is attainable. You know, but you got to take steps. You can't just say I'm behind and then not do anything with it. You got to make the steps. You got to, you know, do something. You got to put your work to your faith.
Yeah, and like she hit it right on point. I believe this is a test run. I believe this is more of a lesson to the saints of the Most High to show where you really are. When I come down, he could come in a 2-month span. This is like a 4-month and it's still not over. I say 4-month because borders are shut now. Like stuff is almost settled. You can't leave, you can't come. This is the 4 months. So even if it goes 6 or 7 months, it don't matter. Borders are shut. Where you are is where you are. You probably got 3 days, 2 days, huh? On Monday. Where you are is where you are. They're closing stuff to Panama. A lot of these countries are closing
They're
borders.
already done.
Yeah, so
Belize's
Panama's
like
done.
one of the last.
Belize is like one of the last people. So I mean, where you are is where you are. So in 4 months, we don't know how. He says, "March and pray that you may escape these days." You know, so it's we need to really have that mindset, and I thank the Almighty for it because it definitely showed me some weak spots in our armor. We prepare for biblical things like the plagues, scarceness of food, scarceness of water, and men fighting against one another. So naturally, okay, we need defense, water, food, you know. But this plague and this epidemic and whatnot, yes, now it's like, all right, well, I know my sanitation game and my medical game is going to upgrade. I'm going to use my stuff for that too as well. I'm going to get that to a certain level to where, you know what I'm saying? When this stuff starts to fade away and you're able to buy your masks like normal and they're normal prices and you're able to find sanitation at the grocery stores, that will be the time for you to start buying your 3 or 4 gallons of sanitation, sanitizer or whatnot. That'll be time to get your latex gloves. When the prices are low and this fades away, and people can rest assured they'll probably be cheaper because no one's going to buy or they have an overstock or something, and bam, stock up on that, because if it happens again, which we can't say, oh, it won't happen again, because it happened in 2008 with the SARS, it happened in 1918 with the Spanish flu, we had the H1N1 little epidemic, we had the bird flu, we had all this other scare stuff going on, and that faded away, and that's part of the reason why I got caught off guard, because, you know, we seen the H1N1, the anthrax, the bird flu, we seen all this stuff come and go, and then you're like, all right, cool. There was no shutting of borders and baseball games and all this stuff. There was none of that stuff. So, with that being said, there's hope. Every grocery shopping, 1 can of vegetables, 1 can of fruit, 1 can of meat. So if you go grocery shopping 4 times a week, that's 4. You know, next month, now you got 8. Now you got 12, and it adds up. A pound of, if you want, we can do a video on Mylar, and again, look up our videos on the YouTube. We have it where we Mylar some stuff. I'm gonna be here for a bit because they're locking down borders, so you're gonna be here to see. You're gonna be seeing me showing a lot of prep stuff. I'll be helping you guys out. Lord, when this dies down, me and Brother Vince are gonna be making a Babylon tour. We're gonna be showing you how to get out of Babylon, A to B, what you need, how much money to take, what hotels to stay at, what checkpoints, what do they ask, all the rules, everything, you know, where to stay, what roads, what checkpoints to go on, how safe it is, everything. We ain't gonna hide nothing. We're gonna make it sound more dangerous than what it is and make it sound more non-dangerous than what it is. So and then it'll show you guys how to get out. If you choose Babylon, choose Belize. I press Belize, 1, because they speak English, so all the paperwork and everything. 2, it's easy to get your weapons, it's easier to get your citizenship and whatnot. 3, it's easy to build your house, the land is pretty cheap, all that stuff. If you're not a member of True Hebrews United or you're not baptized, please don't ask me for help for buying. I'm going to show you how to get out of Babylon. Before you ask me to buy a house or this and this and this, you should be asking, where's the congregation so I can get baptized and get saved? Because you can get out of Babylon and still go to the lake of fire. It says those that believe it and be baptized are saved. It says if you love me, keep my commandments. Not lately, but we had our share of people asking all these questions on how to get out of Babylon, how to set up shop in Belize. You're not going to ride my sacrifice. We got this far based upon my sacrifice. I'm here for all brothers and sisters across the planet that are keeping His commandments, His judgment, His precepts, and His ways. I'll help them, but I am not helping some sinner out there that's scared of what the United States is doing and they want to go to Belize so they can keep sinning. No, I'm not. You do that on your own. I'm showing all the stuff I show is to help believers and people trying to get into the Bible. Shout out to Munya B out there in the UK. Your blocks. Sorry, you got your stuff together. Stack your chips. Hopefully this fades away, because there will get a time where you cannot get out. Right now you can't leave the UK anyways, but there's going to come another time where you really can't, whether you want to or not. And use your money wisely. Save up your money. Get your stuff together. Get everything. Try to get out of there. We're waiting for you. Let's go. Well, your brothers and sisters in San Diego, you know what to do. Brothers and sisters across the planet. Brothers and sisters, shout out to the brothers and sisters in Belize and whatnot. I'm going to see what's up with you. Brother Dawid, Minister Dawid, Brother Tay, Sister Ahava. I'll probably cruise through in a couple hours and whatnot after this service and whatnot, see what's up with you. Whatnot. All you people out there, I pray. There's some cool people out there in the United States that it's going to be sad if you get swept away, because you ain't taking heed. You ain't taking heed. If you guys have any questions, check on our Babylon series. We have a playlist on the YouTube, Babylon. I'll go from start to finish. I'll show you guys why the United States is Babylon, why you guys need to get out of the United States, how to get out of the United States. We have a lot of prepping videos. Maybe we could consolidate them and make them into one prep video. But you got to be self-sufficient. Once again, if you're living a life without the mark of the beast, you need to be raising your own chickens, growing your own meat, cows, lambs, goats, whatever. Try to grow your own food. Try to have your own land. Try to have your own house. Dig your well. In Belize, you don't have to dig much to get a well. 15, 20 feet, maybe 30 feet. Not like in California. You got to dig a well 200 feet to find water. That's not how it is in Belize. You know, thousands sometimes to get water, and then there sets up a hotel next, and then they dig a well, and then now your well dries up because a hotel just set up shop right down the street. Whatnot. Nah. Get your stuff together. Hey, you know I press Belize because you could drive there. People, oh, I want to go to Nigeria, I want to go to Ghana, I want to go to here, I want to go to Israel. Those tickets are like $1,400 a pop. You have family, then you just got to put in the price of getting the land, then you got to put in the price of paying the land, then you got passport and paperwork and processing and all that stuff you got to do. It's much easier if something pops off. You can get in the car and drive outside of Babylon at any time. So it's less likely to catch you unaware. If something happens now, how you going to... Can you imagine if they're going to close the airports, how your $1,400 ticket just went to $2,500 per person?
They did. A lot of people are complaining about they're trying to get back to their native countries, to Europe or to wherever, Austria, and they're complaining that the tickets are really, really expensive. And they're consolidating flights, so there's not even as many flights going out, which means now that you have less airlines, of course they're going to be more expensive because they know they're the only... Stop it. They know they're the only resource, so it's true. Yeah, so I'm not frowning upon going to Ghana and whatnot if you're in that area, but you're safer being in some place where you could fly and drive. Meaning, you know, you could be in where you need to be in less than 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? A flight from where it's like 6, they got straight flights from here from LA to Belize in 6.5 hours. If you're from Atlanta, Miami, you get there in 3 hours. If you're from Texas, Houston, Texas, if you're from those, it's 2 hours. Like some of those flights from there, from San Diego, you got like a 5-hour flight, and then you got a layover, and then you got an hour and 45-minute flight, so a total, so a total is like 11 hours, but I mean, if you're from any of those areas, your flights, you could be outside of Babylon in 3 hours and be cool. If you drive, you can still drive there and be cool. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I just want the best for brothers and sisters on the planet. I can't stress that. I know I come hard. I want you guys to make the right decision. And it takes, the Bible says walk circumspectly. It's not only keeping the commandments, it's money discipline. Money discipline. And be willing to take different sacrifices. If you always do what you always done, you'll always get what you always gotten. You know what I'm saying? So for you to get more, you have to do more or change what you're doing to get different results.
You have to discipline yourself. Hey, put something aside. If your wife or your husband is not spending the money right, direct deposit your paycheck to another account. Or cash your check and put something in the bank and put something to the side. I know there's people out there that have husbands that ain't trying to do right and serve the Almighty, and it's hard for you sisters out there because they're the head and they're not a good leader and they don't want to come to the Almighty, or vice versa. I hear it more so with the woman's trying to come to the Almighty and the husband's not. That's mainly what I see on Facebook and YouTube. But hey, vice versa. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. At the end of the day, if your wife or husband don't want to serve the Almighty and don't want to do right, you got to do right to yourself. You got to do right for your kids, because they don't have no option if they're in Babylon or not. They don't have no option if they have a passport or not. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, but you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta press. You gotta strive. There's something you want to say? So
We covered everything.
we covered everything. Oh, there's a delay. Big time.
It always is.
Okay. With all that said being done, keep standing. Don't drop standing. Shalom. I'm already clapping though.
You're not doing it like this.
Go sit down. Go sit down. Go
You
sit down.
guys gotta turn it off.
This guy.
Turn it off. What does that say?
You gotta press done. Make sure you don't press delete. Yeah.
You gotta end the camera too.
We gotta end the cam. On the cam.
No, no, no.